Hello, welcome to vlog 6. I'm so sorry about that confused face at the start of the vlog. I'm using a new iPhone to record it because my old one has ran out of storage, and I've been pressing the record button for about 10 minutes saying hello. Nothing's happened apart from a few random people have said hello back to me. So I'd actually recorded about 7 minutes of the vlog already and I had to stop because my camera ran out. Let me take you back to the beginning. Welcome to Kout Marina. Look at all the boats. I think I'm really actually doing pretty well with the locations this week. Kout Marina is to the south of Kuwait City, Salwa, Salmiya, Masilla, where I am. It's just down the Arabian Gulf, and this particular marina is split into like a couple of different piers. There's a pier over there where there's dancing fountains like you get in Dubai, but the music was quite loud and I just know that you wouldn't want anything to drown out my dulcet tones again. So thank you for coming back, and can I just say a massive thank you again to Selena for yesterday's contribution to the vlog. It was so fantastic to hear from her, so great to hear her story. There's been so many positive responses, and what I'm going to do is when I do a summary of the week's vlogs, I'm going to signpost you again to her site and to the amazing work that she does welcoming Syrian families to Glasgow, which is such a fantastic cause. There was one particular topic of discussion which came out of Selena's vlog yesterday, which I wanted to really focus on today. This, along with another topic, I was going to leave till later in the vlog journey, but actually I think it's really important to talk about them during kind of start-up and pre-startup week. What came out when we were talking yesterday about employability and about you always having access to employment is this sort of grey area with regards to having a plan B when you set up a business. And the other area, which is something me and Selena have been talking about privately off camera, is the finance aspect of it. And you know, my beliefs around finance are that you should not start a business with borrowed money or investment money. Wait until you have some kind of proof of concept before you get that. But that's something that we'll talk about tomorrow. Today I wanted to focus on what came out with regards to the plan B. And basically, the topic yesterday was about you'll still be employable. If the worst happens, you know, Selena was saying, well, and so what if something happens, I'll still be able to get a job, I'll still be able to get a 9 to 5, and that's so true. And it's really important to remember that if you're one of these people who worries about this kind of stuff, you know, it's going to be okay. But on the other hand, I'm a big believer in when you have a plan B, you will always end up doing plan B. It's like when that option is there, you're not going to strive as hard for plan A because you know that you're still going to be all right. There's a very ancient story about a battle where the troops are going over to do battle on the island, and there's only one bridge going to the island, and what they say is that they're going to burn the bridges, and that's where the popular phrase burn your bridges comes from, because as soon as the troops got on the island, they burned the bridges behind them and they had to win. So if they didn't win, they died. Thankfully we live in slightly more civilised times. I mean, we're still Glasgow, isn't it? If you're watching this in Glasgow, where I'm from and where I set up business, but it's slightly more civilised than that. But the concept remains the same. If you've got an exit plan, if you've got a plan B, if you've got something else which you could do, I genuinely don't think you're going to achieve plan A. And if you do achieve it, you're not going to achieve it to the same way. Now, when I set up the business, I very much had nothing else. I worked in a job which just about paid the bills. I could pay my bills, I could pay for a flat, I had a car at the time. I didn't have any debt. I'd actually already managed to pay off my debt a couple of years before. But with my bills for the flat, the car, council tax, gas, electricity, everything like that, I probably had about £200 left at the end of my wage. That was usually spent on things like food, you know, and going out and a couple of drinks at the weekend, seeing friends, but it was always a trade-off, it was always a choice, it was always I can't do everything, I've got to do something, and if I wanted clothes that month, like for things like work, oh my god, well, you just had to forgo everything else. So this was the ridiculous kind of reality that I lived in. Now, having that job felt like the most secure thing in the world. But actually there's no security in having no month at the end of your money, you know. So when I made the leap into entrepreneurship and when I set up my own business, I had £200. I still had all those bills to pay. Literally I had the difference of 1 month's wage from 1 month's expenses, and that's all I had to get going on. So I had no option but to make an income replacing amount in my first month of business. And that income replacing amount was probably about £1,000. So I set myself with the target that first month in business, which was going to be April 2014, the income that I would need to make would need to be £1,000. And I just had to go for it because I had to pay the bills, I had to eat, I had to leave the house at some point and take people for coffee in order to learn more about business. That month I made £1,050. And that didn't show me just that it's possible, it showed me that I'd set my goals way too low. Now if I had a plan B, if I had a part-time job and that month I only needed to earn £200, I probably would have only earned £200. I ended up having to give up my flat. I ended up having to move into a flat share. I had to get rid of my car. I had to seriously cut down on any activities of going out that didn't involve kind of work related. I remember borrowing £10 from my dad to go to a property networking event because I literally didn't have any money to leave the house. And that property networking event was the Progressive Property Network in Glasgow. And out of that I met so many great friends which are still with me on the journey to this day, still keep in touch, still go to the networks. Fantastic meeting that I went to, and I had to borrow the money for that. So it's like if I had had this plan B of, well, it's okay, I've got a career, or I've got a degree, or I've got this other thing that I can fall back on, or I've got a family business, or somebody will be able to help me out, I genuinely don't think I would have worked that hard. Now, I'm not telling you to get rid of all of these things if you have them. So for example, if you have a bit of money in the bank, or you have great family connections so you can get a job, don't cut your nose off to spite your face. All I'm telling you is that is not going to get you any further than if you're starting off with nothing. I literally had nothing. And all it did was make me work harder. Next week I'll talk you through exactly how I started that, because if you're in the service industry, there's so many things that you can leverage when all you're getting paid for is your time. And when you're manufacturing a product, there's certain things that you can do in terms of leverage to be able to get that product to the market without spending any money. So the plan B was just something I wanted to start on today. And the recommendation that I wanted to give you in order to further your kind of reading it is Mark Cuban's book, which is called How to Win at the Sport of Business. Mark Cuban uses some pretty choice words for what he would call somebody who starts a business on a loan. I'm not going to repeat it, but it's a really, really interesting read. It talks a lot about hustle, which is actually what we're going to devote the whole of next week to. And it talks a lot about how to use what you've got rather than sitting about wishing that you had something you didn't, which is usually what people do. Usually people sit and wish that they had money. Tomorrow we're going to talk about why it's not necessary to start a business on a loan and how you can kind of come up with these ingenious ways to get round not having any money. But for now I'm going to leave you with a nice wee shot of the boats. I would like to thank you personally for making me travel around Kuwait to find these amazing locations, because otherwise I would just be sitting at the hotel working from the laptop just now. So thank you so much. Have a great Friday night and I'll see you all tomorrow. Okay, cheers. Bye.